hot takes, great debates, highlights, basketball. So a really good basketball game happened over the weekend. I would say maybe one of the top 10 games of the NBA season thus far. It was Saturday night. It was ABC. It's the Boston Celtics. A lot of people believe the Celtics can upstage the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals if these two teams were to face off, because a lot of people believe Jayson Tatum will be the best player in that series. I know that sounds egregious to a lot of people out there with what Giannis is doing this season, but Jayson Tatum over the last couple weeks has been absolutely amazing. The Celtics were taking on the Houston Rockets. I'm not the biggest fan of the way the Houston Rockets play basketball. I'm not the biggest fan of small ball. I'm for dang sure not the biggest fan of Mike D'Antoni. But when the Houston Rockets decided to run their offense, not through their MVP James Harden, but through their other MVP and Russell Westbrook, I like the Rockets, man. I really do like this Rockets team. So I'm going to give you a couple of my takeaways from this game, but I would like to show you the highlight first. Let's go down to Boston. Paul Pierce in the building. Kendrick Perkins in the building, the former Celtics, as James Harden and the Houston Rockets taking on Jayson Tatum and the Boston Celtics. Harden came in with 30 or more in 9 of his last 11 games. Tatum 30 or more in his last 3 games. Russell Westbrook, you seen him get a deuce. He had it going, and James Harden with that 3 right there. Passes by Jason Terry, 5th all-time, and 3-pointers made, 2,283. And this dude might have another decade of basketball left in him, the way he plays the game. 4th quarter, Robert Covington giving the Rockets a 3-point lead. PJ Tucker misses the 3. Russell Westbrook does not, as he jams it home off the putback. Westbrook had 41 big points for the Rockets. I like when he leads this team. Probably got fouled on that play as well. Rockets go up 6 with under 2 to go, but the Celtics make a big-time run. They're down 4 with 10 seconds to go. Marcus Smart drills the 3. They're down 3, 5 seconds to go. Tatum intentionally misses the free throw. It gets out to Jaylen Brown. He drills the 3 to tie the game, similar to the 3-pointer from years ago that Robert Horry made as the Lakers were able to beat the Kings. Tatum misses the free throw. It gets out to Brown. Pierce is like, yeah, that's what I used to do. We're going to overtime, tied at 104 in OT. It's Westbrook going and 1. Yeah, that counts. And the foul. Other end, Tatum inside to Daniel Tice for the jam. It's a 1-point game back in Boston's favor. Turnover here. Big time turnover from Marcus Smart. He believed he got fouled. Harden's going the other way. He will get fouled. And obviously, since it got stuck on the rim, the basket does not count. 2 free throws. Harden's one of the best free throw shooters in the NBA ever. Last chance for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown gets a look. Not this time as he did in regulation. Tice's attempt will not count. And the Houston Rockets, after blowing a 6-point lead with about a minute to go, they hold on to beat the Boston Celtics in overtime by 1. My 2 takeaways from this big-time Saturday night game was, number 1, Jayson Tatum is becoming a superstar right in front of us. It's so beautiful to see this young man grow up, and I hate to be the guy that always brings up Kyrie Irving, but dang, it feels like half of the NBA storylines are Kyrie Irving based, right? Like, obviously the Brooklyn Nets are not good with Kyrie Irving. They're better without Kyrie Irving this year. The Cleveland Cavaliers losing Kyrie Irving a couple years ago, demanding a trade out. They've been in literally a hot mess. Remember, LeBron says the minute that Kyrie Irving demanded a trade and was granted a trade by Cleveland, he already knew he was going to head right out of Cleveland again. So now LeBron's in LA because of Kyrie demanding a trade out of Cleveland. The Boston Celtics, they've been absolutely amazing this season, and I hate to bring it up again, but part of it has to be because Kyrie Irving is no longer in Boston. And these young guys who seemingly got stagnated for a year or so, they're back in cruise control. And I love that Jayson Tatum has now established himself as the star of this team. I feel like for so long it was a competition between Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Who's going to be the guy? To me, it was clear as day that Jayson Tatum had a better skill set than Jaylen Brown. I feel like Jaylen Brown's still trying to figure it out in the league. I like Jaylen Brown personally. I've interviewed him a couple times. Good dude from Georgia. But Jayson Tatum he's got elite all-star every year for the next decade. You saw Paul Pierce in the building. All due respect to Paul Pierce, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He doesn't even got the skill set that Tatum has the potential of having. I got a lot of respect for Paul Pierce. Tatum's more explosive than Pierce ever was. He's got better footwork. Tatum's footwork is absolutely amazing. This dude is the star of this team. I like that Kemba doesn't mind Tatum being the guy. Like, Kemba's still going to get his shots up down the stretch, but Tatum is clearly the guy. He's the mismatch. He's the guy that can make a shot over anyone. And, man, he has stepped up for that Boston team. That's how they're almost able to beat the Rockets without their guy, Kemba Walker, their all-star Kemba Walker. He is amazing. I'm happy that he's finally stepped up, and I don't see him taking a step back anytime soon. He's got the look in his eye, that confidence, that swagger that's going to propel him going forward. And then let's go over to Houston real quick before I get up out of here. Man, look, I love James Harden. He is an unbelievable offensive talent. But James Harden needs to remember that nothing's wrong with being put in great positions to win. You don't have to do it on your own every possession down. And hopefully Westbrook is helping him with that. I don't believe James Harden ever fully trusted Chris Paul. And I know he never trusted Chris Paul again after Chris Paul got hurt Game 5 against the Warriors a couple years back. I don't believe Harden ever bought into Chris Paul again, right? That's my opinion. I don't have any information behind that. Not a reporter coming out of me. I'm just telling you that's my opinion. I believe Harden trusts everything about Westbrook. I know we have our concerns about Westbrook as fans, and I cover the game. I don't believe Harden has any trust issues with Westbrook because like I said in one of my previous videos, what you can't take away from guys like James Harden and Russell Westbrook, they give it every night. No matter what, you know they're giving it everything they got. Even if you don't agree with their shot selection, you have to know in the back of their minds, they believe they're making the 21st shot that they've missed in a game, right? They believe that the next one is going in, and that's really all that matters to the other guy. So all I need Harden to realize is, you don't have to be a point guard for the rest of your career. You can go back to the shooting guard position. I know you love the basketball in your hands. You've gotten comfortable with it. Nothing is wrong with Russell Westbrook getting you the basketball. See, we can't have it both ways. If you listen to James Harden in interviews, he'll tell you out of one side of his mouth, he doesn't understand how people don't accept him as a facilitator. He's one of the leaders in assists. He'll tell you the same thing about his guy Westbrook. He'll say, why you guys look at Westbrook as a selfish guy? So you can't say that out of one side of your mouth and then not trust your guy to get you the rock in great spots. Harden, if you really believe Westbrook is one of the best passers in the league, if you really believe you're one of the best passers in the league, you elect the guy that technically plays point guard position, that has been your point guard for a previous team, that's been a point guard in the league for his entire career, that's been a point guard pretty much his entire career. This isn't a new position to him. He's won an MVP at the point guard position. He's led a team to the playoffs at the point guard position. He averaged a triple-double for 3 straight seasons at the point guard position. If you genuinely believe he plays that position right, then don't tell us that. Show us that. Let your guy run the offense. I think this team is better. See, I don't believe the Clint Capella trade necessarily benefits Harden as much as it benefits Westbrook. Harden is still going to chunk up the majority of threes. And Harden's so great at attacking the rim, whether Clint Capella and Tyson Chandler are down low or not, Harden can, when he wants to get to the rim, he can get there and still get his foul calls. But Westbrook, with that lane being wide open, no Capella, he has been on an absolute tear since the All-Star break. And you got to believe that's with the way that they're playing now. With that lane being more open, Westbrook is no longer giving the ball to Harden as much. He's not allowing Harden to be that guy that stands at the top of the key. Because in Westbrook's mind, he always sees mismatch. I don't care who's on him. He believes he could get to that rim. And with no big down there that's able to contest his shot, he likes his chances no matter who's guarding him. That's why he's taking a little bit more command of the offense. Sorry I sound very preachy here, but I get passionate about this. I'm not the biggest fan of the Houston Rockets. My partner's a big fan of Houston. But trust and believe, all bets are off with Houston if Russell Westbrook's running his offense. I'm telling you, this team can go to the next level with Harden actually getting open shots. Something that he has not been able to get over the last few years because of his lack of trust. I mean, this is a dude that turned Chris Paul, a Hall of Fame point guard, into a shooting guard. He did that, right? And Chris Paul's having a great season as point guard for the OKC Thunder. They're right behind Houston. I just think if Harden is going to allow Russ to play the point and he's going to settling into that 2-guard spot and get good looks with just catch and shoot. See, we don't even know how good Harden is at catch and shoot anymore because he doesn't do it. No way I'm giving him a catch and shoot badge on NBA 2K because he doesn't do it anymore. I like this. I'm telling you, that Rockets team can beat anyone in the Western Conference if they got Russell Westbrook playing in one. Will they? I'm not sure. But they can. Big game. Celtics lose in overtime to Houston after a big-time comeback. Man, I'm just a fan of this game who loves watching good basketball being played. You into sports, we got you. NFL news, I got you. NBA news, NBA highlights, NBA full coverage, feature stories, all that great stuff, I got you. We even got a little bit of Madden and 2K mixed in. Subscribe to this platform, and I got you. More quality content on the way. Subscribe.